My name is Cass Elliot, and have I got a secret?
Make your own kind of music, sing your own special song. These lyrics, made famous by the frequently imitated but never replicated Cass Elliot, stand as a tribute to her lasting impact in the realm of music history. As a member of the groundbreaking folk rock group The Mamas and the Papas, Cass's extraordinary vocals and magnetic stage presence helped shape the sound of a generation, with timeless hits like California Dreamin' and Monday Monday. In this video, we'll dig deep into the life and times of Ellen Naomi Cohen, better known to the world as Cass Elliot or Mama Cass. From her humble beginnings in Baltimore to her meteoric rise to stardom, we'll trace the remarkable journey of a talented young woman who overcame countless obstacles to become one of the most beloved figures in 1960s popular culture. But behind the glamour and accolades, Cass's personal life was marked by a series of challenges and heartbreaks. We'll explore her lifelong struggle with obesity, her tumultuous relationships with her bandmates, and the unconventional path she followed in pursuit of her dreams. As we chronicle Cass's solo career and her tireless efforts to reinvent herself as a performer, we'll also take a look at the unusual diet she was following in the days and months leading up to her tragic and untimely death at age 32. This is a celebration of a life well lived and a tribute to an artist whose music continues to inspire and uplift us to this day. Facts First presents the unusual diet Mama Cass Elliot ate before she died at 32 years old. The early years and rise of a star.
We moved around a lot. I was born in Baltimore and raised in Washington and Alexandria, Virginia. And we did quite a bit of moving around, but it was groovy. My mother and father sang, and the whole family sang. We used to gather on the piano and sing.
Ellen Naomi Cohen, better known by her stage name Cass Elliot or Mama Cass, entered the world September 19, 1941 in Baltimore, Maryland. Born to a family of Russian Jewish immigrants, young Cass grew up in a household that often grappled with financial hardships. Her father, Philip Cohen, worked tirelessly to support the family, eventually finding success through the establishment of a lunch wagon business that catered to the needs of construction workers in Baltimore. Despite the challenges her family faced, Cass's innate passion for music and performance shined through from a young age. She found solace and joy in singing, her powerful voice a source of comfort and self-expression. But even as her musical talents blossomed, Cass struggled with another issue that would plague her throughout her life: her weight. In a poignant moment of self-reflection, she once remarked, quote, "I've been fat since I was 7, and being fat sets you apart." As Cass navigated the complexities of her adolescence, she refused to let her struggles define her. Determined to pursue her dreams, she made the bold yet astute decision to leave high school behind and set her sights on the bright lights of New York City. With a heart full of hope and a voice that demanded to be heard, Cass aspired to carve out a place for herself in the world of acting. But the path to success on Broadway proved a rocky one. Faced with rejection and disappointment, Cass found herself at a crossroads. Undeterred, she chose to redirect her focus and energy towards music. In the early 60s, fate intervened when Cass crossed paths with Tim Rose and John Brown. The three gifted musicians joined forces to create a folk trio called the Triumvirate, which was later revamped as the Big Three. This marked the beginning of Cass's journey into the realm of professional music, a world that would soon be forever changed by her presence. It was during this time that Cass's path would intersect with that of one Denny Doherty, a member of the Mugwumps. Though Cass's romantic feelings for Doherty remained unrequited, her unwavering determination and talent would not be denied. She followed him to the shores of the Virgin Islands, where destiny had another twist in store for her. While there, she united with John Phillips, Michelle Phillips, and Denny Doherty, forming the legendary group that would become known as the Mamas and the Papas. It was a fusion of musical talents that would revolutionize the sound of popular music in the 60s. Cass's powerful, emotive vocals, combined with the band's unique harmonies and innovative arrangements, propelled them to instant stardom. With bona fide chart-topping hits like California Dreamin' and Monday Monday dominating the airwaves, the Mamas and the Papas became the voice of a generation. Cass's contributions to the group were undeniable, her presence on stage magnetic, and her voice a force to be reckoned with. The band's rapid ascent to success showcased their combined talent and undeniable chemistry in a way few could have predicted. Through the trials and triumphs of her early years, Cass Elliot emerged as a shining star in the musical firmament. Her journey from the streets of Baltimore to the stages of the world spoke loudly to her unyielding resilience, laser-focused passion, and her unwavering belief in the power of music to transform lives. As she stood on the precipice of superstardom, Cass had no idea of the challenges and heartbreaks that lay ahead. The trials and tribulations of the Mamas and the Papas.
We heard some rumors. Yeah.
Well, they're not true.
They're not true, no.
We're not leaving the business.
They're not, the report we got back here is that you were splitting up. I didn't even want to take it up with you.
No, you can take it up with us because it's not true.
Yeah,
we're just going away.
I'm delighted because we've all liked you so much and your fans have enjoyed you so much. But particularly on our show, we got to know you. We were all busted up over it.
No, don't be busted up over. We're just going away on a vacation.
While the Mamas and the Papas enjoyed a meteoric rise to fame, Cass faced personal challenges within the group. Her weight was often a target of ridicule, with John Phillips allegedly refusing to allow her to join initially because he considered her too heavy. The group's lyrics even occasionally took jabs at her size, with lines like, "No one's getting fat except Mama Cass," in their popular song Creek Alley. Cass's unrequited love for Denny Doherty also caused her immense heartache, as he became entangled in an affair with Michelle Phillips. In a famous plea to Michelle, Cass declared, quote, "You can have any man in the world. Why take the one man I love?" Despite the emotional turmoil, Cass remained an integral part of the group, contributing to their success with her powerful vocals and captivating stage presence.
I think it's commendable. I think they did the right thing in my case, definitely.
Were you rather hurt that you couldn't get bail?
Hurt? I was very uncomfortable because I couldn't get bail, but I don't think I was hurt.
What was it like inside the Nick then?
It was very cold.
How long were you there?
About 30 hours.
And did they take all your possessions away?
Yes, including my jewelry, except my baby's ring. They let me keep her ring, which was very nice.
Did you sleep well?
I didn't sleep at all, thank you. But you?
In 1967, while the group was in London, Cass found herself embroiled in a legal scandal when she was accused of stealing bed linens from an apartment she had previously stayed in. Although the charges were ultimately dropped, the incident led to the cancellation of the band's upcoming British tour dates. It also played a role in the group's dissolution the following year. Rumors circulated that authorities were more interested in Cass's connection to Pick Dawson, her alleged lover and substance supplier, rather than the stolen bed linens. Embarking on a solo journey.
You have to realize that if I had the image of being a hippie-type person, I've been in the business for 13 years. I certainly didn't start off that way. I achieved fame and notoriety through that kind of offbeat group that I was in. So I can't say that I'm slithering back into the establishment. I think I always really was part of the establishment. I was in musical comedy theater, and someone forgot to tell me that it died.
Following the disbandment of the Mamas and the Papas, Cass ventured into the world of solo artistry. She released her debut solo album, Dream a Little Dream, in 1968, which featured her beloved rendition of the title track. Despite her musical triumphs, Cass grappled with shedding the Mama Cass image and establishing herself as a serious solo artist in her own right. In 1968, Cass made her highly anticipated live solo debut at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. In preparation for the show, she embarked on a rigorous crash diet, shedding an impressive 100 pounds. But the rapid weight loss took a strenuous toll on her health, resulting in a stomach ulcer and vocal cord issues. Her opening night performance was hampered by her weakened voice and poor health, leading to a lackluster reception from the audience and scathing reviews from critics. Newsweek even compared Cass's Vegas debut to the sinking of the Titanic, stating, quote, "Like some great ocean liner embarking on an ill-fated maiden voyage, Mama Cass slid down the waves and sank to the bottom." Throughout her solo career, Cass made frequent television appearances, including hosting her own variety specials, the Mama Cass television program, and Don't Call Me Mama Anymore. She continued to wrestle with her weight and self-image, once confessing, quote, "I never created the big mama image. The public does it for you. But I've always been different. I got into the habit of being independent, and the habit became a design for living." In her personal life, Cass experienced 2 marriages, first to James Hendricks in a brief union, and later to journalist Donald von Weidemann, heir to a Bavarian barony. In 1967, she gave birth to a daughter, Owen Vanessa Elliot, though she chose to keep the identity of the father private. Years later, it came to light that the father was Chuck Day, a guitarist who had collaborated with the Mamas and the Papas. The unusual diet and health struggles.
Cass Elliot is here tonight, and she's feeling fine, which is something maybe of a record, because the last time she was appear on the Tonight Show, a couple of weeks ago, she actually collapsed about 10 minutes before the program began and had to leave by ambulance.
Throughout her life, Cass Elliot grappled with her weight and the relentless pressure to conform to society's narrow beauty standards. As she fought to resurrect her solo career in the early 70s, Cass's desperation to shed pounds led her down a dangerous path of extreme dieting. In a bid to rapidly lose weight, she resorted to prolonged periods of fasting, subsisting solely on liquids. This radical approach to weight loss, however, exacted a heavy toll on her already fragile health, exacerbating pre-existing medical conditions and giving rise to new ones. In a candid interview with the Ocala Star-Banner in 1972, Cass opened up about her arduous efforts to prepare for her highly anticipated return to the nightclub circuit. She disclosed that she had kicked her smoking habit and was dedicating herself to daily sessions with a vocal coach to ensure her voice was in top form for her upcoming engagement at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas. Determined to avoid repeating the missteps of her ill-fated 1968 Las Vegas debut at Caesar's Palace, where excessive dieting had wreaked havoc on her health, Cass emphasized her resolve to prioritize her well-being this time around. "I dieted for 6 months before going into Caesar's Palace," Cass confessed. "When I say dieted, I mean I almost didn't eat, and I ended up with a bleeding ulcer. I opened up my mouth to sing and ruptured my vocal cords. I don't want anything to go wrong this time." Despite her valiant attempts to shed excess weight, Cass remained refreshingly candid about her ongoing struggle, admitting, quote, "I am not happy to be heavy, but I am resigned to it. I had lost 100 pounds before my last Las Vegas appearance, but when a person weighs 300 pounds in the first place, that 100 pounds doesn't seem to make much difference." The constant yo-yo dieting and rapid weight fluctuations took an immense toll on Cass's body, pushing it to its limits. On April 22, 1973, the consequences of her extreme dieting practices came to a head when she collapsed before an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. The incident sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment industry as a visibly exhausted and unwell Cass was rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment.
Well, yes.
What was wrong?
I had a headache. I know that sounds really good. Actually, I had the vapors. Remember in the old days, people used to get the vapors and take to the beds with a compress. But I had a headache, and I hadn't eaten anything all day long, and my blood sugar level dropped, and I just sort of tipped over.
This harrowing episode served as a stark wake-up call, emphasizing the devastating impact of her unhealthy eating habits and the relentless pressure to conform to unrealistic beauty standards. Sadly, it also marked the beginning of the end for the beloved singer, as her health continued to deteriorate in the aftermath of the collapse. Despite the warning signs and the pleas of those closest to her, Cass remained trapped in a vicious cycle of crash diets and rapid weight loss, her desperation to regain her former glory overriding concerns for her own well-being. The toll on her body was compounded by the emotional strain of her tumultuous personal life and the unrelenting demands of the music industry. As Cass continued to push herself to the brink, her once powerful voice began to falter, and her legendary stage presence diminished. The vibrant, charismatic performer who had once captivated audiences with her incredible talent and infectious energy was slowly being consumed by the demons of her own making. The road to a comeback and tragic end.
You know something? Stella, that fire escape gets more rickety every day.
Hey, can I ask you something, Betsy?
Sure.
How come you don't use the stairway?
I'm not allowed. It's in my lease.
In the months leading up to her untimely death, Cass Elliot was determined to mount a successful comeback to the nightclub scene. She had secured a booking at the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas, set to open for comedian Marty Allen in February of 1974. Cass saw this engagement as an opportunity to redefine herself as a solo artist and leave behind the Mama Cass persona that had overshadowed her career. To prepare for her triumphant return, Cass made significant lifestyle changes. She quit smoking and worked tirelessly with a vocal coach to strengthen her voice and avoid the pitfalls that had plagued her previous Las Vegas debut. Cass was also excited about the prospect of her own television show, a situation comedy in which she would play the owner of a restaurant in Middle America, produced by Al Ruddy of The Godfather fame. In July 1974, Cass embarked on a 2-week engagement at the London Palladium, which proved a resounding success. Night after night, she received standing ovations from the enthusiastic audience, a clear indication that she had finally broken free from the shadows of her past and was on the brink of a new chapter in her career.
Mama Cass Elliot, the robust, rotund singing star, died today in London. 33 she was. Doctors say Miss Elliot apparently choked on a ham sandwich.
A sad and ironic end to the life of a performer who battled a weight problem her entire life.
Tragically, Cass's life was cut short just as she was poised to make her triumphant comeback. On July 29, 1974, Cass Elliot died in her sleep at age 32 while staying at a flat in London's Mayfair district, which had been loaned to her by singer-songwriter Harry Nilsson. The official cause of death was ruled as heart failure, with no evidence of drugs or alcohol in her system. In the aftermath of her passing, rumors and speculation ran rampant. One particularly cruel and now thoroughly debunked rumor suggested that Cass had choked on a ham sandwich, perpetuating a misleading narrative that mocked her struggles with obesity. Another outlandish tale claimed that she had died while giving birth to John Lennon's love child. These hurtful and inaccurate stories only served to obscure the truth of Cass's life and legacy. A legacy that endures.
Don't I have 7 gold records hanging in my bathroom? Don't I?
The news of Cass Elliot's sudden death hit the music industry like a tidal wave and left a profound sense of loss among those who knew and loved her. Her former bandmates, friends, and family mourned the loss of a supremely talented artist and a warm, caring individual who had touched countless lives. In the years following her passing, Cass's daughter Owen went to live with the singer's younger sister, Leah Kunkel. Owen grew up to be a talented singer in her own right, even touring with Beach Boys member Al Jardin. It wasn't until years later that Michelle Phillips revealed to Owen the identity of her biological father, guitarist Chuck Day. Despite the obstacles, hang-ups, and heartbreaks she faced throughout her life, Cass Elliot's legacy as a gifted vocalist and an influential figure in the music world endures. Her powerful voice, infectious stage presence, and unyielding determination continue to inspire new generations of artists and fans alike. Efforts have been made to celebrate Cass's life and career while also dispelling the hurtful myths that have clouded her memory. Her music continues to be celebrated through various tributes, cover versions, and samples, ensuring her voice and spirit live on. As fans and music enthusiasts look back on the life and career of Cass Elliot, it's crucial to remember her not only for her immense talent, but also for her strength, humor, and the joy she brought to countless lives through her music. By focusing on her achievements and the memorable mark she left on the music world, we can ensure that the true legacy of Cass Elliot endures, untarnished by sensationalized rumors and speculation. Though her time on Earth was tragically brief, Cass Elliot's impact on the music industry and the lives she touched will never be forgotten. Her voice, her spirit, and the memories she created will continue to resonate with fans and loved ones, serving as a testament to her enduring talent and the beautiful soul that she was. In remembering Cass Elliot, we celebrate not only an extraordinary artist, but also a remarkable woman whose music and legacy will forever be woven into the rich fabric of popular culture. The unforgettable voice and spirit of Cass Elliot.
It was family before. It was mamas and papas. Mamas and papas grew out of us all, being together, singing together.
Cass Elliot had a voice that was nothing short of nature, a rare and powerful instrument capable of conveying an expansive range of emotions while captivating audiences with its sheer intensity and raw beauty. Her unparalleled vocal prowess served as the driving force behind the meteoric rise of the Mamas and the Papas, with songs like Dream a Little Dream of Me, which has been covered by countless artists, including Michael Bublé, Robbie Williams, and the Beautiful South. Cass's solo work continued to showcase her incredible vocal range and versatility, with her rendition of Make Your Own Kind of Music becoming an enduring classic that's been featured in numerous films, TV shows, and commercials. Her influence can be found in the work of countless musicians who followed in her footsteps, from the haunting harmonies of Fleet Foxes to the powerhouse vocals of Adele. Beyond her unparalleled musical gifts, Cass was renowned for her infectious personality, razor-sharp wit, and an uncanny ability to light up any room she entered with her magnetic presence. She had an innate capacity to forge deep and lasting connections with people from all walks of life, both on and off stage. Her warmth, generosity of spirit, and unbridled enthusiasm left an indelible mark on all those fortunate enough to have known her. Despite the myriad challenges and personal demons she grappled with throughout her life, including a lifelong battle with her weight and the unrelenting scrutiny of the public eye, Cass never lost her quick-witted, no-holds-barred sense of humor or her unwavering determination to pursue her dreams. With a rare combination of grace, strength, and an unshakable belief in herself and her abilities, she faced each and every obstacle head-on, refusing to be defined by societal expectations or industry standards. Cass's enduring legacy extends far beyond her immeasurable contributions to the world of music. She was a true trailblazer in an industry that often valued image over substance, and she steadfastly refused to be pigeonholed by narrow definitions of beauty or success. Instead, she embraced her unique qualities and used her platform to inspire others to do the same, becoming a beacon of hope and self-acceptance for generations of artists who followed. Throughout her remarkable career, her talents were recognized with a host of prestigious accolades and honors. As a member of the Mamas and the Papas, she won a Grammy Award for Best Contemporary Group Performance for their iconic hit Monday, Monday in 1967. The group also received several Grammy nominations, including Record of the Year and Best Performance by a Vocal Group for the same song, cementing their status as one of the most influential and beloved acts of their generation. In 1973, Cass's hometown of Baltimore paid tribute to her immense contributions to the music world by dedicating August 15th as Cass Elliot Day, a celebration of her triumphant return and a testament to the enduring impact she had on her community and the world at large. Her legacy continues to inspire and captivate audiences around the globe with countless references to her life and work in film, television, and music. From her portrayal by Shannon Lee in the Bruce Lee biopic Dragon, the Bruce Lee Story, to the British play and film Beautiful Thing, which features her records and a character who reflects on memories of Elliot, her influence knows no bounds. Perhaps one of the most poignant tributes to Cass Elliot's enduring legacy is the song Mama, I Remember You Now by Swedish artist Marit Bergman, a haunting and beautiful homage to the singer's life and music. Other artists, from Frank Zappa to Weird Al Yankovic, have referenced Elliot in their work, often alluding to the tragic circumstances surrounding her untimely death and the urban legends that have persisted in its wake. In a fitting tribute to her contributions to music, Cass Elliot was posthumously awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in October of 2022. The Mamas and the Papas after Cass.
Inside Cass was Marilyn Monroe, really. I mean, she was really, Cass was beautiful in every way. She's one of the most unique voices, I think, we've ever had.
After the tragic passing of Cass Elliot in 1974, the remaining members of the Mamas and the Papas continued their musical journeys. albeit on separate paths. Each member faced their own unique battles and triumphs as they navigated life after the group's disbandment. John Phillips, the band's primary songwriter and leader, embarked on a solo career, releasing his debut album, John the Wolf King of L.A., in 1970. Though the album was not a commercial success, it received critical acclaim. Phillips continued to write music for films, including Brewster McCloud and The Man Who Fell to Earth. But his personal life was marred by drug addiction, which led to his arrest and conviction for drug trafficking in 1980. Despite his struggles, he later formed the new Mamas and the Papas with his daughter Mackenzie Phillips, Spanky McFarlane, and Denny Doherty. He passed away in 2001 at age 65 due to heart failure.
Denny and I ended up, betraying everybody. I betrayed John, and I betrayed Cass, my best friend, and Denny betrayed his best friend, and he betrayed Cass, who was in love with him, and it was very messy.
Michelle Phillips, John's ex-wife and fellow band member, successfully transitioned into an acting career following the group's breakup. She appeared in films like The Last Movie, Dillinger, and Valentino. She made a name for herself on television with notable roles in Knots Landing and Beverly Hills 90210. She also co-wrote the band's hit song, California Dreaming, and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Mamas and the Papas in 1998.
The group broke up, but we stuck together. We came from California. We wound up back in Washington, D.C. in a folk club.
Denny Doherty, the Canadian-born member of the group, initially struggled to find his footing after the band's dissolution. His solo albums, What You Gonna Do and Waiting for a Song, failed to achieve commercial success. But Doherty later found a new avenue for his talents in the world of television. He joined a reconstituted version of the Mamas and the Papas in 1982 and produced an off-Broadway show called Dream a Little Dream, which chronicled his perspective on the band's story. He also lent his voice to the character of the Harbor Master in the children's TV show Theodore Tugboat and appeared in the Canadian series Pit Pony. Sadly, he passed away in 2007 at age 66 of kidney failure. Now it's time to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the incredible story of Cass Elliot and the Mamas and the Papas? What's your favorite song from the group? Let us know in the comments section below.